Hello and welcome to the Early Years Staff Meeting Podcast with Sarah, Keely and Steph, the place where you can listen, learn and laugh with us about all things early years.
Hello.
Hi.
Suppose we should say Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's only the end of Feb, and we finally made it to our first recording of the year.
Yeah, that's right. So today's show is just going to be a little bit different in that we're just going to do, a little talk about our absence and a little quick run through of a few changes. And then today our main topic is World Book Day.
WBD, as I like to call it.
WBD.
Hashtag WBD. Let's get that one trending.
And yeah, are we having...
We can finish with a mindful moment.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Absolutely.
So, apologies. We have not been around for a little while.
Yeah.
We are still here. We just scheduling us. I mean, today we're 2 again. We're just scheduling us. It's just a bit of a nightmare.
Yeah, we're all busy working mums, and it's just trying to find these times when we can actually all record together. We have got a plan, haven't we, for a new recording studio. However, that's sort of seasonal work. So we're back in the cupboard this morning. It's preschool, so it's very early morning, and yeah. But we're here.
We're here. So we are hoping to record on a more regular basis.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, we are here. We're still here.
But thank you for your loyalty, because people are still listening.
I know, still listening to the Christmas episode.
Just can't get enough of it. Or is it just they're listening and then or they're falling asleep and it's, I don't know.
I don't know, but thank you to whoever you are for being very loyal.
Because we've been very quiet on social media as well and everything, haven't we? But people are still finding the podcast and giving it a listen. So
yeah, we really appreciate that. So thank you so much.
It's only going to get better.
Hopefully, yeah. Okay, so the changes that we've just been having a little chat about. So we've had time to think about it. We want to sort of link it to more of the way we work in school. Mm-hmm. And what we like to do is we like to do research. We like to look different, educational ways of thinking or practice, and just trying them and see how they fit in with our children, how they fit in with us and the way we work, tinkering with them a bit, trying it out, doing a bit of testing, and sort of trying to make it fit in our way, really. So we want to be able to do that for you guys. So we want to be able to try out, some educational thinking, and, let us do it for you and say how it worked, and you can, have a go at doing what we do.
So if anybody's got any areas that they'd like us to explore, or any different strategies or people of interest that you think we might follow sort of our sort of way of thinking, then let us know and we can delve into those as well.
I think it sort of stemmed from, I've been doing a lot of research recently on Waldorf Steiner, and I've been having a go at doing a lot of story work with children in school, because they do use a lot of song and story, and that's kind of what triggered it off for me. So it's that kind of thing. Is I use that, but I didn't go down the whole rabbit hole of Steiner, even though we do a lot already, and I didn't even realise that we did.
Yeah.
But it's taking those aspects, pulling it apart and thinking, right, what can we use in our everyday practice that is easy for everyone to access, because we don't all have access to a lovely Steiner teacher. Okay, so if you have any suggestions, please contact us. We've got our website, www.the staff meeting. I can't even remember it. I'm that tired.
The earlyyearstaffmeeting.com.
I haven't even had any breakfast yet.
Oh no.
Anyway, and obviously our Instagram page and our TikTok page as well.
Yeah,
so yeah,
we are gonna dip our toe further into TikTok, aren't we? Because I think that's the way to go. Apparently,
I think so. Apparently,
that's what all the kids do.
Yes, all the kids, all you young teachers out there. Okay, let's dive into World Book Day.
WBD. Wow. Well, World Book Day. I've got some World Book Day experiences. Have you, Sarah?
Oh, I definitely.
What do you want to kick us off with?
So, my first ever experience in a school on my first ever day as a year 1 teaching student was on World Book Day.
Brilliant.
So, obviously, I had only ever worked in nurseries. I've done some work experience in school, but I never knew about World Book Day. It was, 15 years ago, it was probably in its infancy, had not a clue. So me and my partner, because we worked in twos then, turned up at the school, and who should open the door but Mr. Tickle.
Oh. And was that the head teacher dressed?
That was the deputy head.
Okay.
And it was like a huge box structure with these big arms that had wire in them.
Yeah.
And it was all homemade. And I just was trying to be very professional and I was extremely nervous. And Mr. Tickle was trying to navigate through the corridors. And we went straight into assembly. And then I realised the whole school, except me and my partner, were in costume. And the head teacher said, "Oh, we told the university we were expecting you to turn up in costume."
You should have said, "Yeah, I am." You should see me on a normal day.
Exactly. This is my mask. I'm trying to hold it all together, thanks.
Yeah.
So we felt very guilty, and all the children were like, "Where's your costume? Where's your costume?" And we were like,
"That's a bit shaming, isn't it?"
It is a bit. It was. Yeah. Let's face it. It was. But yeah. So that was my first ever day in a school.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
So it's imprinted on your brain.
It is imprinted on my brain. But I do have very fond memories of World Book Day. I used to really go for it. When I was a young teacher, I was known in the school for being the one that always made a huge effort.
Wow. I mean, I can imagine that. I mean, you got your sewing machine out.
Yeah, I did. Exactly. I really
went
went to town. I mean, I've been Tinkerbell, but not the
Disney version.
Well, it was the Disney version, but not it was tasteful.
Appropriate for school.
Tasteful Tink.
I've been Tinkerbell as well. Yeah.
But what wasn't helpful was the caretaker's inappropriate comments about Tinkerbell. We won't go there.
Oh dear.
But yeah, I have some really fond memories, but I also have some really memories of just mainly children not coming in costume and feeling very, as you say, shamed by that, and that does sort of hit a bit of a core with me. But yeah.
I mean, I remember one particular time where, well, I'll just add that I am not, as you can imagine, I don't go to town with my costumes.
So you're not an eager beaver.
Well, it's just I'm not very creative in that way. So I will, I do like dressing up and I do enjoy it, especially on a night out or something like that. I will sort of embrace it. But for World Book Day, I tend to be sort of, have the same costumes that I just regurgitate year after year. So I've got the Hermione costume, or just wear all black and a pair of ears and you're a cat, that kind of thing. But I do remember one year that we used to get a McDonald's sometimes at school. We used to go, a few of us used to go and collect up this big order of McDonald's. It was a nice little treat, and it always used to fall on a group of people to go in the car to pick it up. And it was on World Book Day, and it was just really funny because I remember I think there was 4 of us crammed into this mini or something going through the drive-through, and it was ordering 300 cheeseburgers, and it was "Where's Wally?" Because there's always a "Where's Wally?"
Oh, there's Anne Wonder. There's so many. There's so many.
Or was it Waldo for our American listeners?
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I think somebody else was probably the Hungry Caterpillar or something like that.
There's always 3 little pigs, but there's always 20 little pigs.
And there's always loads of things. Thing 1 and thing 2.
Loads
of people seem to do that. Oh, we'll all dress up as thing. And so have a lot
or
of things.
the day the crayons gave up.
Yeah.
There's always like so many crayons.
Yeah. And that's just the teacher. So that was like a funny memory for me. But yeah, I think the dressing up, I think because it's sort of just there's this feeling of hype in the school, isn't there? So it's a little bit of silliness, and you know, that is nice. And the children obviously like to see the teachers dressed up and things. But the same. Well, we'll probably delve into it a bit more in a minute. But you know, the pressure of getting the costumes for the parents, it's sort of become a bit of a commercialised thing, hasn't it, really?
I think back when, I'm going to sound really old, back in my day, when World Book Day was about books and it was this amazing wow day, the supermarkets and the fancy dress websites have really taken hold. Yeah. And you know, I get it. They, you know, that's how they make their money. But it's become very commercialised, and it's kind of, let's go to Amazon and let's see.
Well, that's what kind of mum I am. I am quickly.
Well, I can tell you now, I've been Hermione for the last few years, and she'll be coming out again this year.
As you know, I've got my red cloak that I purchased a few years ago.
Little Red Riding Hood.
Little Red Riding Hood, but it also doubles up as the Handmaid's Tale. So it's like after hours, I can go from day to night. I just put the let the Lord open. Yeah. So it's that will probably be coming out again next week for World Book Day. But I think what's happened over the years is that the intention of World Book Day and the World Book Day people, it's all about promoting like a love of reading and just passion for enjoyment of reading. And I had a little quick look at the World Book Day strategy, and they are really like focused on understanding that probably the people you're trying to reach are the least likely you're going to reach with those the hype around the costumes, because it is those families from, you know, disadvantaged backgrounds perhaps, or, you know, where it's a bit more difficult to get a hold of a costume and books, and you know, so it's about trying to just promote this love of reading at the core. So it's become a little bit moved away from that with the costumes.
The focus is it's just on the costumes now, not on the reading.
And as we know, some children do find that particularly stressful.
They do.
And it's never very comfortable. I remember one year a little boy in this amazing costume of Thomas the Tank Engine, which was a cardboard box. So as soon as you've got to school, you've got to kind of take it off to have any like involvement with anybody throughout the day. You can't put your coat on. You can't even sit down.
At least it was made.
It was a homemade one.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, so it was like lovely, and the effort that's gone into it is lovely, but not practical really.
No,
for a day's worth of play. Learning or play in any year. And then you get the ones that are a little bit inappropriate. Like I know it went viral a few years ago. There was somebody that dressed up their child as Christian Grey from 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Like a little 4-year-old or something. I think he got sent home.
I've seen Pennywise the Clown.
Oh dear.
Because that's a book, isn't it? Stephen King.
Yeah,
quite a few of those. And it's like, that is so inappropriate on many levels.
Yeah.
A child being Pennywise the Clown who eats children.
How do you even know who that is? That's a definite safeguarding red light there right away, isn't it? Yeah.
And also, you'll get about 10 Spider-Man and about 15 Elsas.
Yeah.
Because that's a book.
Yeah.
As they clutch.
It's just what they've got, who they want to dress up as, isn't it?
It is.
Their favourite film character, really.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
It is,
more so than the books. So what are we going to do about it, Sarah?
Well, I think it's time to
move away.
I think we kind of, in what I feel as though we should allow the children to dress up at school. So you have out some material, some props, and when they come to school, they can decide who they want to be, and they could make their own costume out of junk modelling or just wrapping material around themselves. They could make a mask, something where there's a lot more thought and a lot more play involved. And then it just all goes away at the end of the day, and they can go home, and we can tell the parents what they
could
did.
Even take photos and share it.
All on the
for things that you can do. I've seen where, I think on the Literacy Trust, I think, or the Well Book Day website, there's lots of ideas. That one of them is, instead of getting yourself dressed up, you get a potato and you decorate the potato like the book character. So it's just a little bit more accessible for people.
Like
again.
Sue Potato.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't have to be potato themed.
No, but it is.
You should be limited in your Mr. Potato Head. Sue Potato. Can't think of anyone else.
That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, so it could, it's just, again, it's just about taking the pressure off parents and children to dress up and to but still be creative and still have the focus on book characters. And we also know that our friend, I wouldn't say friend of the show, but that's wishful thinking.
It is wishful thinking.
Greg Bottrell.
Yeah, the lovely Greg Bottrell.
Greg, if you're listening, you're always welcome to come on our podcast.
Oh, yeah, more than welcome.
On his Facebook, on his Can I Go and Play Now account, he did share some lovely ideas for just alternatives to Well Book Day. So I think we're going to give a couple of those a try next week as well, aren't we?
Yeah.
Well Book Day. So should we put that in the show notes and then people can have a look?
I think he, as always, he just comes up with the best child-friendly, just simple, not too over the top, and they're just easily little fit-ins.
And imagine, it's about using imagination and that love for the magic of stories. But although just having a look at his ones, the last one is to dress up as your favourite politician. So I don't think idea 5 is really one.
I'd really struggle with that.
That was more of a political statement than an idea. But for your favourite.
I don't think I have a favourite.
I think that's the point. But he did one of his ideas was to do nothing special, because every day is a Well Book Day, and I guess it's about how you foster that love of reading and books in your setting. So what are some of the ways that we do that, do you think, here?
So in school, we love reading to children. We do the book vote, but that is not the only time that we read a story. As I say, I have been trying to do a lot of prop stories recently, trying to create a scene with the material and getting like bricks and the wooden trees out and the characters off the shelves and making my own stories up, usually just very ad hoc, I have to admit. Yeah. And sometimes I'll pause and say, oh, what could happen next in the story, and letting the children take over. And some of the most bonkers stories have happened, but it's funny, it's fun, and it's fostering that love of role playing, that love of reading and all those early...
Just that imagination.
Yeah, exactly.
It's nice. And we do have a lot of books in the provision, like we dot books everywhere. So we do have our reading areas, but we also have books throughout, and we have lots of books outside.
We do.
We have a little reading shed outside as well, where the children can go when it's raining to read books, and adults will just sit and do like a small story time session. Children absolutely love it, and I just think that's really important, because
we record ourselves reading stories and put them on our Facebook pages for parents, so that children who may not have access to stories or books and only have screens can have it at home, and so they've got us reading a story to them.
And I had a lot of comments about that at Parents' Evening recently, like, oh, they love having a story with you at bedtime.
I know.
And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. But it's also really embarrassing, because I'm like, oh no, you're in their sort of house and all the time. But
don't think about it too much.
I know, we're doing a podcast.
I know, exactly.
It's like ironic.
In my classroom, I have a Yoto player, which is like a box that you put a card in and it will read a story to them, and I try and put the books that match, and you can actually record your own voice, so you can record your own stories so that they do match. And again, it's the children always have access to your voice, or adults that they know, and when they hear it's your voice, they go, it's you, you're in there, and you're like,
they love it, don't they?
They do love it.
We've done something in nursery this year called Star Stories. where we have a story that we read every day. We just make sure we read the same story every day. And then we have multiple copies of that book, and we have them in a special box, in like a star box, and they're the star stories. So the children can then go, and because they've been hearing the language of the story, they've got the language of the story, so they can read it themselves. And we've had some really lovely moments with that. We had one moment where we had 2 children on the stage with about 10 children sitting down watching while they were performing
how lovely.
word for word story. And again, we've been putting them onto Facebook so that they can read them at home, and the parents have really commented about that. So that's been a really good sort of new addition to just getting the children to use that language. I think, the language of rhyming words and things like that in the text. So we've just chosen very sort of classic but repetitive texts for that purpose. Things like brown bear, where it's very repetitive. Things like that. So yeah.
Oh, that's lovely. I think it's kind of like the premise of, at home, every household has got a Julia Donaldson book, and they all know the story of the Gruffalo, don't they? Because they hear it in so many settings, and so you're kind of trying to recreate that, but perhaps with not a Julia Donaldson book. They're trying to hear that repetitive story, and they can predict what's happening, and they can, as you say, retell it themselves, so they feel like they've got the power to read.
That's it, yeah. So it's nice because you spot children just sort of sitting there and just reading. So it's lovely. It's been really good. So that's another idea for people to try. But I think we're going to produce something.
One of our little
free planning
things.
resources. That hopefully that means we won't get sort of Ofsted, because the last time we did
one, we got Ofsted.
We had to use it for Ofsted. So hopefully it won't sort of jinx anybody, touch wood. But yeah, we're just going to produce something with lots of ideas of how to have a more skills-based and child-led World Book Day. It doesn't mean that you can't do your dressing up, especially if it's something that's embedded in your school. I think it's very hard to go against that culture if you're working in a school.
Yeah.
But yeah, just a few alternatives.
Yeah. Okay. Mindful moment.
Mindful. So first of all, I've got to do a shout out to my Secret Santa, whoever that might be. It's
not me.
I thought it was you.
No, it's not me.
So it's obviously somebody that listens to the show then.
No, it wasn't me.
I just assumed it was you.
No, it's not me. I absolutely have. Because you said this before, and I was like, is she into me?
So somebody, this is just the best. So it must be someone that listens to the show. That's all I can say. Or somebody that feels I need to meditate. So maybe it's one of my class colleagues. So we do an early years team Secret Santa at Christmas where you don't know who's got you or whatever. And somebody bought me the best present ever, which was like a jar of mindful moments.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
So,
but I remember you looking at me going, thanks, and I'm like, great.
I just thought you were like, well, this will double up as a present and
no, I didn't.
material
Honestly,
for the
hands
podcast.
up. Oh,
okay. So whoever you are, you must be a listener. But it's just the best. There was some other little bits in there as well. But this jar of mindful moments. So we've just got, it's like a little mindfulness jar. So you pull out one, and it's got lots of different activities on there, like have a mindful cup of tea, or go for a mindful walk, and things like that.
One.
So you definitely need one. But anyway, so I've got lots of material going forward. So thank you to my Secret Santa, whoever you are. But so this week I've got a mantra because I've been doing some meditation on the Balance app that I mentioned before. And one of the mantras is I've done my best and let go of the rest. So as you breathe in, you say, I've done my best. I think I might have paraphrased it a bit, but or I'm doing my best. So you breathe in and you say, I'm doing my best. And then as you breathe out, and let go of the rest. And I just think that helps us when we get overwhelmed, because you are only human. There's only so much you can do in one day. So it's just about letting go. When you
work with children, the to-do list is forever ending.
Yeah, it's never ending. Yeah. So you can only do what you can do. So it's just about remembering that and just breathe, use breathing, breathe in and you say, I'm doing my best. And let go of the rest. And
love it.
And it does help.
I'm going to try that today.
There we go. Give it a try.
Particularly jam-packed day.
Oh no. made more jam-packed by the fact we've crammed in a recording session this morning. But
yeah. But no, I've enjoyed being back. So it's
good. It's good for our mental health, I think.
It is good for our mental health. It allows me to offload and just to feel like I'm connected to something bigger than just in school,
and I think it's creative as well. It's doing anything you can to be creative. I think it's good for the soul.
It is.
So
so hopefully look out for that little freebie, World Book Day freebie,
and enjoy World Book Day.
And we look forward to seeing some of the chatter on socials, seeing any inappropriate costumes is always good, or any really creative ones, just so I can steal and not be Hermione next year. It's just great.
The easier the better.
Exactly, the cheaper the better as well. All right then, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.